Okay, now we've got this all formed up here. And what we've done is we've used a bunch of clamps. We're looking at different edges. This is a finished edge, but it's only going to be 1.5 inches here. This is a finished edge. We've got our 2 inches coming all the way around right here. And the rest of this is all wall. This is that little section that went into that window area. I've got my foam. I've got this marked out where this needs to go. First thing I'm going to do is put my foam down right here. I'm just going to take some of this double-sided tape. I'm just going to cut off a few pieces. I don't want to put a ton of double-sided tape. If I do, I'm going to have problems getting it popping off later on. So we want it enough to hold it in place while we're placing our material, but not so much that it makes it difficult later on. Usually, you know, just 4 pieces usually does the job on these little sink cutouts. You can make your own sink cutout so that it's a thickness you want it to be. You can sand it, you know, cut this stuff, sand it, edge it up clean. Just going to take this. This is a pre-cut one that we're going to use. I'm just going to line up. I've got my mark there of where it needs to go. That way it's really easy for me to just go ahead and press that in. Now, you can see we've kind of used some different materials to kind of, well, we've clamped, we have some cantilever clamps to hold this on right there. So we've got a few pieces we can't get to with clamps, namely these 3 pieces here in the front. So we're going to use some spray adhesive. We're going to put that on that bottom good, and then we're going to set that in place. We're just going to give that a second kind of to tack up right there. And you can see we're using some of these different pieces. You can use all kinds of different things to do your form edge. You can use melamine by all means. If you're doing melamine on melamine, you know, you can usually use hot glue. Kind of glue those down in place. So once I kind of seat those down, then I got to kind of lift those back up. I'm going to let those gas off just a little bit. Once those gas off, then I'm going to stick them back down. They'll kind of stick in place. And then I can also take some tape and kind of tape along that edge, kind of hold them in place while we're going to be doing our pour. We're all ready. You can see I've taken some little gaps, you know, we filled in. This doesn't even have any form behind it right here. We're not really working it too hard. This is a wall edge, so it's not a big deal. If that was a finished edge, we definitely want to have something more rigid going up there. Now we're ready to do our pour. We're going to go ahead and mix up our material right after we put the release on this. It's real important to remember to put our release on so that everything's going to come off the table. Likewise, when we take our backer and flip our backer board down and seat it in, make sure that we put release on all of our aluminum edging on there before we seat it down in there. Otherwise, we're going to get it stuck on that back side and we're going to be fighting it.